Okay, another question. Phoenix is staked and loaded. The biggest question: how many steps to? Oh, it's a question to my ladder. I personally did. I'm going to do it for about 5 years. So I'm going to do every 3 months for 5 years. So what is that? 4 times 5, 20 ladders in my step or whatever. So yeah. The cooldown period is much appreciated. Yeah, that's true. Because hype is one of the biggest things in crypto ever, right? So I know that right now, Pulsechain, we're having problems with the bridges and everything. And that's good. You know, it makes people anticipate. But if we continue to have these problems, the hype is going to die down. And not that many people are going to rush into Pulsechain, right? So hype is very important, but you almost have to like finagle it a little bit. Make sure that your hype is not overcome by the fact that you have to have such a ridiculous delay. So I guess that's actually a smart idea that you made it 3 weeks instead of 13 weeks for the first flush. Because if you made it too fast, like let's say you did 3-4 days, no one's gonna really care. Oh, 4 days, yeah, okay, that's cool. But 3 weeks is like, okay, I can get a paycheck or stuff like that. You know,
I think what people are gonna see after the first 3 weeks, when they see Polygon's payouts, they're gonna be like, oh, okay. And then they're gonna maybe show up to Ethereum and then want to use Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain or Avalanche, one of the other chains. Okay. So yeah, I think it's gonna be people will be pleasantly surprised. Let's hope.
Okay, nice. Jordash also asks, can we see the equity percentage on active staking page?
Yeah, there's some things that Johad and I are trying to figure out in terms of putting information there, but not putting so much information that it's kind of crazy. So we might put, if they want to see the total, let me talk, actually, Jordash, find me in Telegram and we can talk on there. Because there's a bunch of things that we want to add that people are asking for, but we want to make sure that we add them in a way that is not clogging up the active staking page UI, because you can put a lot of stuff on there and it can look kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I was there was a page where you could type in the amount that you're staking and then it'll show you a preview.
Yeah, it's on the stake page.
Okay, yeah, this is it. Yeah. So let's say that you stake 100 Phoenix to make it easy, and you stake it for 365 days, you stake it for a year, you will receive
you're not connected, so it doesn't.
I'm not connected, so it's not.
Yeah. It uses the chain calculator to figure out what it would be.
But actually, I think I can connect it. Let me see. But let me see. Okay, I know they can't see this page, but I'm going to type it in, and you do 365 days for 100 Phoenix. You receive about 74 Phoenix. So in a year, your ROI is about 73%, right? And that also depends on how many people join, right?
Yeah.
And it also depends on the amounts that you stake, right? The bigger you
actually
stake.
You know what you can do? Go to phoenixcalc.com.
Phoenix. Okay.
So we built this a week ago, which kind of helps people see what is going on with the staking and the dilution and how the system incentivizes longer stakers and shorter stakers. So if you go in and you type, let's say you do stake for 100 Phoenix in there, and then do a stake term for 365 days or something, and then add that stake, you'll see what your payout will be. So you'll see that the yield, the amount of shares you have is 581. You'll see that the payout is 101.61 because that's the inflation rate of Phoenix. But what you don't capture is the reward pool. So if you go in the reward pool and you put 100 in there, right? Because you would have burned 100 Phoenix to get that, and you click update.
Reward pool?
Yeah, click update. So now what you see is the payout for that first stake is now 201 because you're going to get your yield over the course of that year plus whatever's in that reward pool divided by all of the stakes that are in there. So you can add you can keep adding more stakes. So add like 4 more or whatever. Just keep clicking add stake. Keep going. Right? So you see what's happening? As more stakers are coming in, your payout is going down because you're sharing that reward pool amongst everybody, right? So you're competing, each one of your stakes is competing against yourself and against all the other stakers. So the more, if you have a stake ladder that's very small, that's very granular, you're going to dilute yourself in the reward pool sense. Although you might be okay because the reward pool is going to be 4 times as big, right? It's not going to be 100, it's going to be 400 because you're going to burn more Phoenix or more Xen for Phoenix. So
yeah, so okay, so it's 200.
Yeah, so now you're back up to what it was originally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, if like you said, if you're competing against yourself, you're not really competing against yourself. You're getting both. Let's say you do 2 stakes. You get the first 2 stakes. They're just for you. Meanwhile, this is a 3rd person. This is a 4th person. They only get 201. Meanwhile, you get 402.
Yeah. Now, where this gets tricky is when people start doing longer stakes. That's when you start getting diluted. So if you add a 0 to the end of that, or do that. Yeah. Now you can see what's happened to you make the reward payout 500. Let's just assume that everybody's burning and So now you see that before your payout was 201. Yeah. Now your payout is 195. So it's still more than the Phoenix you put in, but the longer stakers are diluting the shorter stakers. Right. Because we want to incentivize time and market, which is one of the 3 principles that we talk about on the Phoenix in the Phoenix Light paper. So some of these longer stakers are going to start diluting some of the shorter stakers because they're going to get more shares for their stake versus a shorter staker.
Okay. No, so that's really good. That's really similar to HEX pretty much, right? The more that you stake, the more reward that you get. The longer that you stake, the more rewards that you get also.
Yeah. This is a little bit different because there's a little bit more of a there's like a carrot and a stick thought process where the carrot is something that rewards you and the stick is something that punishes you. This has a little bit more of the stick characteristic because in HEX there's an OA and the OA absorbs all the losses from everybody. In this, there is no OA, so everybody is actually actively competing against each other. So that is one of the differences between this and HEX. HEX has the OA, which is allowed to absorb the losses. This has no OA. So there's nobody to absorb the losses. It's the shorter stakers that are going to get diluted by the longer stakers.